High School Playbook starts now.
There they are right there. Those are the helmets, which means tonight is week 1 of the Sac Joaquin section playoffs. And though some teams have earned a bye, others had to hit the field tonight. Welcome to the High School Playbook Show. I'm Dale Rogers as we begin their quest to win one of 7 section titles up for grabs. The winners of those titles will play in a NorCal Bowl game, but tonight 46 teams suited up in the Sac Joaquin section to take part in the opening round of the high school football playoffs, as did 42 teams from the northern section. We begin in Modesto, where last year's section champs, the Central Catholic Raiders, played host to the Stag Delta Kings. They're from Stockton. The Raiders defense showed up early in this game. Mario Zavala III with the interception of a Stag pass right there. Takeaway, give me that. Central Catholic would turn that pick into 6 points. Tyler Jacklich takes the rock, rolls 20 yards into the land of quick 6 for a CC Raiders touchdown. Later in the first quarter, Joel Roberts from Central Catholic finds the zone from 7 yards out, giving the Raiders a 16-0 lead over Stag. Central Catholic, the number 5 seed, whipped up on the 12-seed Stag. Final score tonight, 58-19. Now let's head to Ripon for Division 5 first-round battle between the Rosemont Wolverines from Sacramento and Ripon. Let's pick this one up in the second half. Rosemont would extend their commanding lead, so they thought. Michael Cherry, he scores from 6 yards out to give the Rosemont Wolverines a 30-14 lead. But Ripon, they never threw in the towel. They made one heck of a comeback. Check out this 25-yard touchdown by Xavier Clark. It would cut the Wolverines' lead down to 8 points late in the fourth quarter. Now with less than 3 minutes in the game, Trent Vick finds the zone from 2 yards out, cutting Rosemont lead down to 2 points. All right, we got 5 seconds left in the game. For Ripon, they're going for the win. Xavier Clark somehow finds the zone from right there. Ripon comes all the way back to beat Rosemont Wolverines 35-30. Remember, Ripon had trailed 30-14 in the second half. Now, a total of 80 teams qualified for the Sac Joaquin section playoffs, with the Oakdale Mustangs and the Roseville Tigers meeting tonight in the Division 3 first-round playoff game. KCRA3 Michelle Dapper made the trip to Oakdale and has the outcome.
Kick the dust up at Oakdale as the Mustangs host the Roseville Tigers in the first round. Oakdale down 20-7 in the closing seconds of the first half. Tommy Chance rolls left. Clark Nielsen keeps him off the scoreboard with the interception for the Tigers. But the Mustangs charge into the second half here. Alex Jones carves his way in for the 24-yard touchdown run to pull Oakdale within 6. After a missed field goal by Roseville, the Mustangs charge downfield. Jace Rao to the left side over the pylon, 5-yard score, and the Mustangs take their first lead of the game, 21-20. To the fourth now, Tigers on the prowl, and they go deep. Brandon Graydon downfield to Joel Bradley in stride, 74-yard touchdown strike, and the Roseville Tigers retake the lead after the 2-point conversion. It's 28-21. With the ball game hanging in the balance, Oakdale facing 4th and 6 with just over a minute to play. Tommy Chance with the pass. Brady Rinaldo steps in front of the receiver. The interception to seal the game, handing Oakdale their first-round playoff exit since 2008, 28-21.
This has been a phenomenal program year in, year out, and for us to be able to get an opportunity to come back here as a program, show how much we improve. Everything we did in the weight room in the offseason was, we knew what we needed to do. We knew Oakdale was the top dog.
Last year we were at the same field, except we had the very opposite feeling. They were over there getting all excited, and we were over here, kind of dreading on it. Seniors were crying. It was their last game, and it feels good to just come back and get our revenge.
We're hard workers, day in and day out. We're in the weight room every morning. We battle until the sun goes down. We're going to keep it going.
So up next for the Roseville Tigers, a date with Patterson next week. In Oakdale, Michelle Dapper for High School Playbook.
Thank you, Michelle. Now to a Division II Sac Joaquin section playoff game. The Lodi Flames, they made the trip to Vacaville to try and tame the Vacaville Bulldogs. Both the Flames and the Dogs finished with the same regular season records of 7-3. Now Lodi started a little rough. The running back runs into a wall right here. The Bulldogs make him cough the ball up. Noah Sayosi is there for the scoop and scat, taking this one back 40 yards for Vacaville's 7-0 lead. But Lodi would redeem themselves. Matthew Shin tosses to Caden Merriman. He makes a few cuts while slipping a few would-be tacklers, and after tiptoeing down the sideline, he would find the end zone for the Lodi Flames. But the Vacaville Bulldogs went to their running game to put this contest on ice. Christian Dios Doty And he just activated beast mode, breaking one tackle, missing two other defenders. He's in for the touchdown. Vacaville stomps the Lodi Flames. Final score 35-20. Elsewhere tonight, the Foothill Mustangs, they made the trip across the causeway to play at the Dixon Rams in a Division V playoff game. For the Foothill Mustangs, Xavier Smith, check him out, hands off to Jalen Joyce right here. And JJ, watch what he does after he hits the wall of defenders. He fights his way through traffic, dives in for the end zone, keeping Foothill in the game. But Dixon not only had control, they would extend their lead. Jet Harris with a beautiful pass to Leo Iglesias. And Leo leaps up and comes down with a Dixon touchdown. Rams, they headbutt the Foothill Mustangs out of the postseason. Final score 24-6. All right, as we do every week, it's time to show off our high school playbook playoff Great Clips Catch of the Week. And for week one of the playoffs, our high school playbook Great Clips Catch of the Week was turned in by Wood Creek High School. The ball is tipped, watch it, by Golden Valley defender, but it ends up in the hands of Joey Nielsen for a Wood Creek touchdown. Joey with a great concentration as Joey Nielsen of Wood Creek High School turns in our Case Area 3 high school playbook Great Clips Catch of the Week. Keep our promise of bringing you every aspect of Friday Night Football. It's time to introduce you to our playoffs cheer team of the week. 25-member cheerleaders from Wood Creek High School in Roseville. During the playoffs, Wood Creek Timberwolves cheerleaders combine their varsity and junior varsity teams to make one 25-member playoff cheer squad who they say love to make their fans in the stands stand up and cheer every game, especially during the playoffs. That does it for the first half of the High School Playbook Show. Coming up after a quick commercial break, I've got our Fan of the Week plus our Epic Chevrolet Game of the Week. But for now, it's time to meet our High School Playbook Playoff Game Officials of the Week. 6-person varsity crew. Crew chief in the white cap, that's John Wallace. Mr. Wallace has refereed high school football games for 47 years. He has also spent 26 years in the United States Air Force, and he's worked 20 years for the Department of Corrections. Well, it was a year ago this week that we lost an irreplaceable part of our Case Area 3 family, as well as a member of our high school playbook team. Photographer, reporter Will Hereford from our Stockton Bureau passed away, and we all continue to miss him dearly. Our thoughts and prayers are with his family and friends on this one-year anniversary of his passing. The High School Playbook Show will be right back. Time now to introduce you to our high school playbook fan of the week, Marshall. Hold on, not yet, Marshall Vaughn. Okay, go.
Hi, my name is Marshall Vaughn. It is great to be a fan of the week. Go Wood Creek!
I love that. Welcome back to the second half of the High School Playbook Show. I'm Dale Rogers. We begin with our High School Playbook Epic Chevrolet Game of the Week. Golden Valley taking on Wood Creek. Hosting their first ever football playoff game, the Wood Creek Timberwolves face the Golden Valley Cougars, who made the 135-mile trip from Merced to Roseville for tonight's game. And using their ground game, Wood Creek would cap off their opening drive with this Dylan Perrott touchdown, giving the Timberwolves a 7-0 first quarter lead, and their fans in the stands were loving it. For Golden Valley, when it seemed they had something going, Wood Creek would make a big play like this one. The Timberwolves interception by Dylan Perrott. That interception resulted into this quarterback keeper for Wood Creek, Austin Catapodis. He scores the touchdown. Time now for a halftime update. To help me out is Maddie Vaughn. Maddie is part of the dance team here at Wood Creek High School, as you can see. Maddie, what do we got?
It's halftime. Wood Creek is leading 28-0. We're going to still be leading at the end of the game. Let's go, Creek!
In the second half, Golden Valley tried, but they could never gain any traction. Wood Creek was able to keep the Cougars' top rusher, Jay Smith, in check, giving him first downs, but no touchdowns. As for the Timberwolves, they were dialed in all night long. Austin Catapodis scores on his second quarterback keeper of the night for Wood Creek. Then Austin Catapodis fires a touchdown strike to Giovanni for another Wood Creek touchdown, as the Wood Creek Timberwolves are moving on to the next round, pitching a shutout against Golden Valley, 48-0.
Kids did a really good job on both sides, both offense and defense. They took care of the line of scrimmage, ran the ball well, tackled their athletes very well tonight.
Went great, went just as planned. We planned to dominate, and that's what we did. You know, we all were brothers, and it was awesome to do with our brothers. It was a great game.
Right in Lincoln, the Fighting Zebras hosting the Natomas Nighthawks in a Division IV first-round playoff game. Lincoln made all the right moves. Thomas Micaiah right here fakes a handoff, and then he finds the end zone after handling the business himself for a Fighting Zebras touchdown. The Natomas had to play catch-up ball most of the night. They never threw in the towel, though. Check out Michael Hendricks. Drops back. He finds Michael Bird, and then the Birdman would find the end zone for the Natomas Nighthawks. That's a 45-yard touchdown. Number 11 going to get 6 points, but Lincoln would use their ground game to take and keep control of this one. Fighting Zebras from Lincoln, they win this one by final score of 52-26. Tonight, Granite Bay Grizzlies hosting the 11-seed Inderkum Tigers. Granite Bay broke the ice in the second quarter on this Carter Jackson quick slant into the end zone, giving the Grizzlies a 7-0 lead. Then after trailing 17-0 at halftime, Inderkum, they got on the scoreboard here. Gabriel Hutman to Kevin Boone Nelson. He takes it the rest of the way for Tigers' first touchdown of the game. But Granite Bay was a better team tonight. Check out this play. Carter Jackson takes a handoff, makes two would-be tacklers miss. Then he just outraces the rest of the Inderkum Tigers secondary. Carter Jackson goes 84 yards into the land of quick six. Granite Bay over Inderkum. Final score 24-14. Now it's time to stop the highlights, bring in the band as we do every week. It's time to listen to our high school playbook playoff band of the week. It's the 70-member Wood Creek High School Marching Band. They are under the direction of band director Austin Geiser. Hit it! All right, now back to the highlights. Now to the Division VI playoff game with no seniors on the team. 12 Bridges not only earned a postseason berth, but they did it in their first season in the Sac Joaquin section playing varsity football. They also earned the right to host a first-round playoff game. Tonight in Lincoln, the 12 Bridges Raging Rhinos hosting the Modesto Christian Crusaders. For the MC Crusaders, they used their air attack to perfection on this play anyway. Check out Ross Weidman as he lays it up for Elmo Wartson, who makes a great catch and then takes the rock the rest of the way. That's a 75-yard touchdown for Modesto Christian. 12 Bridges would mount a successful comeback with Cruz with the old play-action fake. Then he finds a sprinting Nathan Crawford who catches and carries the pill into the land of quick six to give 12 Bridges the late lead. 12 Bridges hangs on and wins this one by a final score of 36-32. Great game there. Our playbook cameras were also in Escalon, the defending D5 section champs, the Escalon Cougars hosting Pacheco tonight. Escalon was rolling from start to finish. Davion Rosevic hits and puts it on the spot for Owen Nash for the 24-yard Escalon Cougars touchdown. Escalon would go on to shut out Pacheco by a final score tonight of 55-0. Well, that's it for the first week of the section playoffs. For Michelle Dapper and the rest of our high school playbook crew, I'm Dylan Rogers. We'll see you back here next Friday night for week 2 of the postseason.